Pounders. Welcome back. Today we're going to be drafting an Underdog Fantasy weekly winners team trying to shoot for the moon for 20K each and every single week. Your lineup is re-entered basically into a 1-week contest. Let's see if we have any of the Pounders in this one. Fully loaded. Sounds familiar. Other than that, oh, we got Drew right next to us in the one spot. Draft neighbors. And there is a rumor that Drew and Nick might be taking over the channel again this week while we're out on vacay. That's going to be a fun stream. It always is. If you guys were here for the last one when we were in Florida, they kept the ship afloat for sure. Here, I'm actually Tyreek Hill over CeeDee Lamb in weekly winners. So we'll go ahead and we'll bring in Tyreek Hill at 2 here. I think the argument's there. I think the argument's there for higher single game ceiling, although Lamb did crush last year. Lamb did crush. Curious if anyone saw I believe Hayden Winks posted on the team's adjusted point totals for next year versus their expected point totals for next year versus how many points they scored on average last season. And some of those charts are very interesting to look at. Obviously, Dallas was one of the biggest losers. I don't know if it's really as deserved. Not a lot's changed there. And I think that's taken as a negative a little bit too much. But yeah, CeeDee Lamb, obviously, we're CeeDee Lamb at 3 here without a question. Bijan and Breece Hall go off at 7-8. So nothing too crazy to start this draft. Maybe we're the only ones mixing it up just a tad. Just a tad. But you got to think also like Tyreek Hill leverages Waddle, Achane. Those are another 2 picks that go in the top 25. So, and those guys are going to have their weeks as well. And it's one of those offenses that we actually saw that multiple can get there on the same slate too. So not completely opposed to bringing in, I would say, Achane more so than Hill, just because Waddle, just because the double stack receivers with Tua, I think it does get a little more thin there. Okay. This is super sharp by Green here. Achane at 13. We have him ranked at 12 right now. He definitely deserves to be going there. See a little Gibbs, Garrett Wilson start. Typically, you would see this with Garrett Wilson at 10 and Gibbs at 15. Just gets there in a weird way. Clearly, this guy just wants to take a stand on Gibbs, which is fine. Let's see. We have a bye week 6. I'd be interested to see if we can purposefully try to avoid bye week 12. All bye week 12 or all bye week 14 to try to have as many live players as possible for those heavy weeks. Now, if a player falls to us and there's a teardrop, like I just got to select them. No matter what the bye week is. But let's see if we can sort of maneuver this room in that way. And I do think, personally, going Josh Allen bye week 12, it does give you a lot of bye week 12 options, and then maybe we avoid bye week 14. Could be fun. Another thing to note that we noticed today, CMC, then you have Bijan and Breece Hall. Bijan and Breece Hall both share the same bye week. So if you have a CMC start, maybe targeting the Bijan and Breece Hall week 12 even more so. Seems like a very fun strategy. I think Drew is gonna go back-to-back receivers here. I have to go Debo in this spot. And then I sort of want to just go Josh Allen. I think we focus by week 14. So let me pull up. Let's see. Buffalo Bills schedule. Let's take a peek at some of these week 14 matchups. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yow. The Bills play the Lions week 14. That is fiery information. That is fiery, spicy, hot information. Interesting. Good to know. Not that Laporta is going to come back to us, but maybe a JMO bring back for that game would be fun. Maybe Montgomery to leverage some of those, the Gibbs shares, the Amon-Ra shares, the Laporta shares. Just something for up here. Just something to keep in the back of the head, Ski. 14 picks away, so we're picking at 47 and 50. Amari Cooper, so many tags on players arriving to practice without pads, not practicing, looking for contract extensions or contract reworks. You got one on T. Higgs, not attending minicamp. You got one on Chase, not putting pads on. It's interesting. I do want to buy the dip on probably all of them. I hope they fall. I think they're easy selections. By week 12. So we're going to try our best to avoid by week 14. This guy goes double elite tight end, RB. It's just like, oh, man. Oh, there's one less team. And you're not really worried as much about the people in your pod specifically because you're all getting entered into, week 1. You're facing everyone that created a lineup. But this is just one dead roster spot here. It's just one dead roster spot. I would like Amari Cooper to fall to us. Maybe that scares some people. I wouldn't mind George Pickens as well. And then one of these RBs would be fine too. So in an ideal world, one of these running backs plus one of these receivers. I don't think we're going to get Pacheco. We'll see though. Oh my God. Hollywood Brown over Pacheco. He has Mahomes. All right. We'll give him a pass. We'll give him a pass one time. Where are we getting Pitts? Pitts at 71. It's probably happened. It doesn't happen often. Come on. Let us stick to the plan here. Yes, it's happening. No, it's not happening. Amari Cooper, welcome to the squad. All right, where are we going to make our entry point at running back? 71. David Montgomery, and then double tap. This could be interesting. We know that Buffalo plays New England twice, so we're getting some correlation there. It could also be a Mostert click. Maybe not as much. It's there, but... All right, T. Higgs. Very strong at receiver. Typically, I want to bring in that early running back. It just... In the 2 spot, you don't really have the best opportunity to do that unless you want to bring in Kyron. And then after that, it's like just the way the running backs fall. If you don't get one at 47, like these guys go up the board, like what are you going to go? What are you going to do? Like Rashad White over T. Higgins? I personally can't do it. Yeah, I think you can go tight end there as well. Tight end there is probably smart as well. But very high ceiling plays, in my opinion. Very high ceiling plays. So I'm very okay with this start with Josh Allen. Very fun. We'll try to avoid bye week 14 again. So New England's actually going to be bye week 14. So we're trying to do 2 strategies at once. Maybe we go Connor over. Let's see how this works. If we can get 2 of these guys, this would be ideal. Maybe we do mix in Mostert here as well. Aaron Jones, spike week guy, bye week 6. I don't think Mixon's going to be there. That's why I didn't tag him, but For good luck. For good luck, we'll just put him in the queue. Just put him in the queue because we all know putting him in the queue is great luck, right? They never get selected when you put them in the queue. But if you guys are just joining me, go down, slap the like on the live stream. If you're enjoying the content, hit the subscribe button. We're going to be doing a 24-hour live stream at 2,000 subscribers, and we're well on our way. So help the cause, hit the sub. I appreciate you guys. Keenan Allen off the board. Terry McLaurin off the board as the first receiver. Okay, this is your chance, buddy. This is your chance. The rescue boat sees you. You got one flare left. Aim high. Aim high. Now, a good player for a team like this would be like a Rashee Rice, but I don't see Rice falling back to him at 83. Where does Rice go in this? 89. Interesting. Because in contests such as this one, you can make a team that focuses the end of the season. You know, maybe bring in like a bunch of rookies, Marvin Harrison, maybe bring in like maybe Gibbs might have a bigger role at the end of the season again. Some of these players that are hurt and Jonathan Brooks, and you pair that with Rashee Rice, and you create this team that is just like a super ADP value for the last 10 weeks of the year or 9 weeks of the year, whatever it may be. That's intriguing to me. That's very intriguing to me. Now, maybe I wouldn't do it with Miami, as it tends to get a little chilly to his poor little fingers. Maybe not Miami. But some of these other teams in the first round, I really like the Bijan Brees Hall starts in weekly winners right now. Okay, first click is on us. Let's just go. Just clear the mind. We're just going to go naked Josh Allen, even though the rookie's there. Just pretend like you don't see him. We need running backs, sir. We need running backs. Is it easier to get? Let's do the double stack here. Let's do the double stack. All right. Bringing in the RBs. Jake Fergie's also there. I don't mind that click as well. But maybe on the way back around, maybe we get Njoku to fall to us at 80, like basically right on ADP. That would be the hope. Is Njoku at 95? Ooh, we got a little player news here. Deshaun Watson throwing every other day currently. Per plan, I guess, as he returns to NFL form. Not exactly what you want to hear. Not exactly what you want to hear. But okay. All right. Who else falls in this range? Players like Jonathan Brooks, players like Jaylen Warren could be fun here. Mike Williams on track for August activation. Whoa. he would spike. He would spike up pretty high, especially because there are. So that's like another player you would bring in like with the Rashee Rice team, right? Like that's a perfect example of someone that when he's healthy, probably gonna have a pretty good ceiling, especially with Rodgers, even if it's just a red zone role. Look at this piss session. Jeez, boys. Yeah, JMO goes at 82. What's his 87? All right. We couldn't find the stack. Maybe we go just a super late like Khalif Raymond. Could make sense. The piece you need. Just needs to be right once. Jerry Jeudy wasn't at practice today. Said he's in the building working through some things. Oh man, I love that for my Jerry Jeudy exposure. Sorry to those that were drafting him. Sounds like he's going to fall. Sounds like I'll probably get him at a better price. And that's the name of the game. Now, can you foresee something like that happening? No, that wasn't the reason for the fade. But we will take a We will take a win when we can get a win, all right? Don't question the process here. That 0.9%. Maybe probably looks like a puppy. Looks like a puppy. The 0-3-2-2 start. The 0-4-2-2 start. Exactly what you need to win multiple weeks with one lineup. The first time ever you're seeing it right here. Being created for you on the live stream. Exactly what to do. That poor dog. I kind of want to go Rice here, but I know I shouldn't. Pollard off the board. Wow, Ferguson fell to 89. The crimes that are committed in this room have been harsh. They have been harsh. Again, we're trying to avoid bye week 14, remember. Now, wouldn't I rather Rice here first and then just one of these running backs? Unless I wanted Bowers, which I don't think I necessarily want Bowers. This probably isn't the best team for end of season upside, but what if Rice only gets 4 games? What if he gets 6 games, please down to 5, or appeals down to 5? I would probably want Rice in this situation. Sorry, Drew. We're going Rice. We're going Rice. The other thing, Jonathan Brooks would be really good pairing for this. What if Brooks starts to really gain on his workload like week 5? So I think that pairing makes sense. Yeah, he double taps what we would have done. This is fun. I think it's got to be Singletary here. Let's bring in Singletary. Let's bring in Singletary over Gus. I think Gus has to fall a little bit. I'm cool with Gus after Singletary, basically. I'm probably drafting Gus over Austin Eckler, but I'm not going to have a ton of Gus just right now. I think we can afford to wait on that backfield. We know Gus isn't a third down guy. So maybe when we get a little bit of clarity about the RB2 situation there, you'll actually see people like fade Gus a little bit, target the RB2 in the offense. But right now, so much uncertainty, I think you're seeing people just take that stand on Gus right now. Marshawn Lloyd with the highlight. Leggett and Brooks still sidelined. Interesting. All right, Javonte off the board. We did see some coach speak on, maybe not even coach speak. It was a reporter that said they want to do like a 45, 40, 15% split. I don't believe they mentioned which RBs. We assume that Javonte would be getting the 45%, but if you're getting Javonte at 103 and you're getting Jaleel McLaughlin at pick 170, and then you get an estimate at in the 200s for free. We don't know who's getting the second bit of 40, and that could change. Even the first 45 could change. But like, to me, it just screams like avoid Javonte right now, and maybe draft some of those other RBs in the backfield because those seem like they're going to be the true winners in this. And it looks like we dodge another mine there. 1.7% Javonte Williams. We'll see. Obviously, stances can change, and coach speak is just coach speak sometimes as well. But when it does hit the media and the majority of drafters get the wind of knowledge that we have on that, you should see a fall. And then maybe we will add to Javonte's shares if he gets to a place that now we think he's actually worth bringing in. But right now, it doesn't seem like a good time to be bringing him in with that knowledge. We actually get a pretty decent fall from Brian Robinson here. He's bye week 14. We're going to consciously stay away from there. We know it's the second. Well, it's tied for the most heaviest bye week with bye week 12. So that is we're going to give ourselves the best chance at that week. So I do like Rice in that situation of thinking. I wish we got Brooks, to be honest. Is Nick Chubb now in that conversation? I know we can't go Benson because we have Connor. Blake Corum's definitely in that conversation. Goddard or Schultz seems like a good spot. Schultz 14. Goddard seems like a good spot to bring in a tight end where we know he has an elite ceiling. He has trouble with the consistency part. Let's see. All these guys have a tight end except for him. We might be able to push tight end past this guy. See if this works. Corum off the board before Brian Robinson. Just rarely happens. Very rarely. We'll bring in Chase Brown then. And Goddard goes. Our day is just being blown the F up. Which is fine. Let's bring in a correlated Buffalo piece here with Khalil Shakir. I don't mind going 3 late tight ends, but I do like to get one pre-Schultz. In my opinion, they have access to a higher ceiling than some of these guys down here. But if we can end up with Pat Frobby, very happy. Musgrave. A lot of bye week 14 tight ends at the end. That's what's tough. Even Cole Kmet, if he falls, one of these two are fine. One of those two are fine. I mean, this team could easily be targeting the early portion of the season too, minus Rice. Maybe the suspension doesn't come in until, week 6 or something. We just don't know with that situation. But with having no rookies, this team could be starting quicker than most others. So at the same point where we're going to try to target by week 14 by having 18 live players for that week, we're also in a way targeting the early portion of the season. So it's just interesting to keep in the back of the head. Schultz goes right off. Gabe, Kendre, and Goff with Dak and Amon-Ra. I don't really understand the Dak pick, but yeah, I don't see it. I'm not seeing it. Just Dak at 102, I guess. But at that point, I'd probably just rather Jane Daniels. Especially Dallas is such a concentrated offense. Palmer off at 130, Nick Chubb off at 131 because this guy just needed another running back, right? The 0542. Cole Kmet goes off with Caleb. Does he have another Chicago piece? He has DeAndre Swift and Odunze. That's kind of overstacked in my opinion, but at least the prices aren't too expensive. I don't think it's egregious. Oh my, run it tight end. Exactly what we didn't want. And I'm okay with this, right? You try to create very strong teams by pushing positions of need and scooping values or grabbing your guys in ranges. Clearly the Shakir pick, what are we going to do? We're going to reach up 20 spots for Cole Kmet or Pat Fry? Probably not. Probably not. Could it have been should we have done the Schultz pick basically and say, okay, we still need another tight end for bye week 14, but Schultz will give us a better opportunity for the rest of the weeks. I'm fully on board with that thinking as well. So that very well could have been a route that we chose to go, and then still bring in 2 more tight ends. So now, and we can't even go. I don't even want to go Jonnu here because of Hill and Mostert. We'll see. We shall see. Let's bring in Musgrave first. Which Musgrave leverages a good amount of pieces. I like Lloyd here as another running back option. We know Green Bay wants to use multiple running backs. The unknown is how much are they going to use A.J. Dillon? And is that going to be like a 65% workload for Jacobs, which in my opinion would hurt his value? And it's very much what we saw with Jones, but maybe they give him 15% more. That's sort of what I see in Jacobs. So maybe like a 65, 25, 65, 20, something like that, 15. We'll see. And then we'll see if Lloyd can earn more snaps, basically, as the season goes on. But early on, he'll likely have to earn that role. Ty Chandler goes off right after. I like the Ty Chandler click. We could have gone Ty Chandler as well, or Rico, not having Zeke, but I like our mix of RBs right now. Chuba would be a fun one as well if we're targeting early season with Brooks in mind. Maybe susceptible to another knee injury. Not saying anything. Not saying that's gonna happen. Not saying it's gonna happen. Not wishing that on anyone. Got to make these stuff very clear. Very clear. Yeah, you get this run at fun receivers here in Leggett, Burton, and Roman Wilson. Very fun range. Tony Gibson off, Dowdle, Kamani. Cade Otton is an interesting click just because of the pieces he's going to leverage in Tampa Bay with Mike Evans, White, Godwin. I also like the Conklin click as a touchdown upside guy by week 12. We're already given up by week 12. And then Juwan Johnson. 2 of these 3 would be nice. You can add Chig. You can add Fant to that. You can even add these guys. 2 of these guys, and I feel pretty comfortable with this team already. I like the Wandale click as well for receivers. Maybe Conklin goes to the top of that list too because of the Buffalo Jets correlation. Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, both top 12 picks. If Conklin can get the 2 touchdowns that week or steal 2 touchdowns from them. That's basically the thinking there. I like Marvin Mims in this situation as well. If somehow Conklin gets sniped, we can bring in Corley instead for that correlation, but I'd probably just rather Wando at that point. Troy Franklin was still on the board, huh? 172. What do we want here? We're good at receiver. I think we go Conklin first, and we see who falls to us. Let's go Conklin first and see who falls. Maybe this guy makes our decision for us. I like Chuba in this spot. Donta Foreman late. Okay, he goes Bucky Irving. We should be getting Chuba then. He goes Mims, which is a good pick. And this is basically hoping we get Fant on the way back around as well. Nice little leverage piece to Lockett, DK Metcalf, JSN, Kenneth Walker. I don't think we necessarily need another receiver. I think Chuba here makes a lot of sense. All right. Is there another QB that we want to bring in with this squad too? Or are we just going to stick with one QB? Carolina, Cleveland, I think. Yeah, Deshaun Watson's off. Where did Deshaun Watson go? Deshaun Watson went at 158. That's probably that dude's best pick. Pairs him with Judy. He's still the last 4 rounds, no receivers. What's happening? He needs so many receivers. It's not even funny. All right, so we're looking at a 1.662. We invested a lot of receiver right away with 4 picks at receiver, 1 QB. We then touched on running back with Mostert and Connor. We touched on RB again with Singletary. Then we add Rice. Then Shakir for the stacking partner with Chase Brown. Then we went Lloyd and Musgrave. Then Conklin and Chuba. I think we're dancing around it pretty nicely. And again, for these guys, when an elite tight end hits their ceiling, like you're probably not going to be in the top 50. You're not going to be in the top 50. But on those flatter weeks, these guys can sneak into top 3 tight end territory. What's the news on Jones? Not quite ready for 11 on 11s. Should fall a little bit with that. It's basically going in the 18th anyways, so I guess you can't fall too much. Sanders would buy week 11. Gesicki would buy week 12. By week 11 seems like we're giving it up anyways with Connor, Singletary, Chuba. We only have 3 avail RBs. This seems like a team that we just lean into Josh Allen. Just the way it's falling, I would like to add a 7th running back on this team. Just take a dart throw at one of these guys. Okonkwo off the board. That's interesting. Going 3 tight ends when you go Kittle is just like something that you might do in BBM or something you might do in the puppy. I'm probably not with Komet. I think that's fine capital. But like, especially in weekly winners, that's too much invested at tight end. Like you're likely taking 2 zeros here, then getting 2 tight ends to spike and have a tight end in your flex. Yeah, we don't have any stacks I'm really interested in, like bringing in a second QB. But we'll take a peek at the end of the draft. Maybe Justin Fields would be there, and we'll just go naked Justin Fields. This guy's got Drew's got 1 tight end. That makes me want to go Fant first. This guy shouldn't be going. He should be done at RB. This allows us to go Geno in an interesting way. I still wish it was like Lockett, but that's a tough one. He goes Jelani for the A-Rich correlation. I like it. T-Lot 144. Just naked. No, with Ingram. Really sick, Drew. Really, really sick. He goes Javon Baker. I like that as a spike week play. Who's here for receivers? Is there someone we absolutely want right here? I like Demario Douglas, but I don't really know what his touchdown upside really is going to look like this year. I'd probably rather just take a shot on players like this. Even Chase Claypool's rising now. Let's see. Is Rondell Moore? Did I miss Rondell Moore? Is he already off the board somehow? Tell me he's off the board. Holy shit. Who selected Rondell Moore 20 picks before ADP? Pick 188. Dude, this guy loves 18th round receivers, huh? Rondell Moore at 188. Excuse me. I missed it. I'm sorry. Jonnu off the board at 196. Jonnu's such, in my opinion, such a good weekly winner selection just because he can take freaking screen passes to the house. Like that's sort of exactly what you want. In weekly winners, we just had so much invested in Hill and Mostert not having to just a lot working against us going Jonnu there. But yeah, we're gonna revolve this team around Josh Allen. Unless if Fields is there, then I think we can go Fields. We have enough firepower here at receiver where you're basically looking for 2 of your top 4 to get in there. Then 1 of Raya Shakir. And you could get 3 of the top 4 as well on a given week, but I think this is a fun one. I think this is a fun team. Little focus on bye week 14. We have 18 available players. And if we don't go an extra QB, we have probably at least one extra player on 98, 99% of the teams? Because how many teams are going to have 2 QBs too? So you figured those teams have 17. And then did they avoid bye week 14 with every selection? Most teams don't because of how heavy bye week 14 is. So that's why I do find this strategy to be pretty interesting. And of course, you need the stars to align. You need it to be a blood moon. You need to be able to see the moon from your backyard, touch the moon to spike into the top 3, top 10. But with this year being a smaller field by like 40,000, that's a lot less lineups. So I do like the weekly winners payouts and everything that the amount of entrants. I think they did a great job with it. So I don't know if I'll be maxing this contest, but I will definitely have 50 plus entries. Probably be in that 60 to 70 range. Probably invest like 1,000 total. Or these are $10 this year. So maybe we'll get to 100. Maybe we'll get to 100. That's right. Last year they were 15. So even moving it down to $10 entries is a win, in my opinion. A big win. All right, we're coming up on our pick. Sanders goes off. Yeah. Justin Fields went off at 204. This team's got a 4-5. This team's, I think, autoed the whole time. Slayton feels good here. Let's not go Elijah Moore because it feels like a bet against Cooper. Yeah, we have Singletary. I don't know how big of a deal that is. Malik Washington's out. I think tiebreaker, the week 14 matchup, Josh Allen against Detroit. It's going to be Khalif Raymond week. You saw it here first. It's crazy. Khalif Raymond week. I can't believe it's going to happen. It's insane. You guys got to see it live. Amazing. Amazing. We bring in that Detroit piece too to leverage some of those expensive pieces in Gibbs, Laporta, and Amon-Ra and Montgomery. So Khalif Raymond, a fun little click here at the end. Correlated piece, if you will. But yeah, 58 cents a week your lineup is good for. So when you look at it like that, when you start drafting 100 of them, though, that's when it will add up. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's live stream. We will be back tomorrow with another video, and I hope to see you there. Hope you have a good day. Slap the like on the way out. Hit subscribe. Have a good one.